Hi, I'm Sean Persaud, and I co-wrote American Whoopee, and I'm also in it. I play Teddy, a lowly ice cream shop busboy.
Hi, I'm Sinead Persaud. I play Clara Fairbuckle, and I wrote, I produced, I helped with costumes. It's a good time.
Hi, my name is Mary Kate Wiles, and I play Millie Juniper Scoop, and I'm a Shipwrecked comedy member, producer person.
Hi, I'm Sarah Grace Hart, and I play Fiona. No last name. I am one of the 4 members of Shipwrecked, so I do some of the producing and wardrobe, and then I also act in the projects.
We've had a year of going on meetings, and they've been going great, and we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing has happened, and that's been very frustrating.
As you may or may not know, we've been trying to pitch some bigger projects this year, and so that was kind of our main focus.
And then, thankfully, we got invited back to our favorite place, Buffer Festival 2018, and we needed something to show. It is so
And then Buffer Festival kindly invited us back again for a 3rd year. We didn't have time to do a Kickstarter, so we were like, okay, we'll do a smaller project in between our larger projects that we were planning.
A few years ago, Sinead and I were writing something for an unrelated film festival, and we were doing like a series of movie trailers, and each one was sort of like a spoof of a type of movie genre, while also being a spoof of movie trailers.
Hey, 2 Sibs. We just got the first shot of the day. How you feeling?
Good.
Hungry,
Looks great.
but good. Like 3 or 4 years ago, Sean and I had our hearts set on making these 3 like fake movie trailers, but this one was probably the most fun.
There was some talk, I think, last year when, like, if we had gotten to the stretch goal of having a trailer for Wilhelmina's film, we would have done it for that. Like, Wilhelmina would have been an American Whoopee, but that didn't happen. So it felt like something that we could do fairly small and still be fun and new and different than anything we've done before.
Sean and Sinead wrote this sketch a while ago and then brought it back for one of their packets that they were submitting as a writing team. And when we got invited back to Buffer, we thought, well, this sketch is the most like Shipwrecked because it's historical, it's a period piece, and comedy, and so we kind of pulled that into Shipwrecked's world.
Every year for the past 2 years, Shipwrecked has gone to Buffer Festival, a YouTube festival in Toronto, and we have to premiere something. So the first year we went, we premiered the final episode of Poe Party, and then last year we made Gilded Lily specifically for Buffer Festival. And when we were there, I started having little panic attacks because I could hear through the grapevine people were very upset about having to sit through a 40-minute short film, but it ended up being fine and everybody really liked it. But this year, we're making American Whoopee. It'll be 5 minutes long, be part of the comedy block. We will feel a lot less pressure, I feel like.
We wanted to do something a little bit less ambitious and more affordable than Gilded Lily, something that people in the screening room at Buffer, their hearts wouldn't drop when they saw how long it was. So we were thinking about things we could do, and then we realized we had this in our back pocket. We thought, okay, it'll be short. We won't even need to have sound. It won't really need to make sense because it's a trailer. We can have just a little bit of like mini sketches, and it'll all be in one neat little bow.
American Whoopee is a 1920s silent film spoof on teen sex comedies like American Pie, or She's All That, or 10 Things I Hate About You, and it takes all of those tropes and puts them in the 20s, and it's very silly.
Action. That will never happen. That's pretty funny.
All of these kids who are apparently in high school, but in their full Prohibition best, jazz best, like going to a Gatsby party, are at school and they're all falling in love and they're all like getting into hijinks, and one character takes naughty photos and then they get sent to her mother upstate by post by accident, so they all embark on a road trip. But like, who even knows what's going on? Honestly, I don't know.
Action on rehearsal.
Say, can I have your cherry?
Golly.
But we're doing a lot of like, it's scandalous, but it's scandalous for like the 1920s, so like it's not scandalous by today's standard.
It's just a series of crazy jokes.
It's not quite as highbrow as some of the other stuff we've done before.
What's okay? Send it back.
So the script didn't change much from when we originally wrote it. My character used to be named Buster, but then when we decided to put it in the Shipwrecked shared universe, we wanted to have Buster Keaton, played by Clayton Ferris, in the montage section. So we changed my character's name to Teddy to avoid any confusion.
Also, we changed around the order of some things, we changed some names, added a few bits. We added the whole idea of the cameos, so basically like half of it was added a few weeks ago, and we decided to get all of our friends who were available to come and stop by and do a little 80s or 90s rom-com bit.
We wanted it to be sort of like Shipwrecked Infinity War.
So what we had was a bunch of funny names that Sean and I came up with in the end. So it was like, and introducing Whipley Blinderslatch and whatnot. And we were like, what if we had like a person for each one of these? And originally we were just gonna have them like turn to the camera and like do a funny thing. Then we made them a little more specific.
We wanted to have the Tiny Terrors. We wanted to have Ford Phillips and Claudette Knickerbocker as 10-year-olds, which is about how old they would have been. And we wanted to have them as like cameos, but child labor laws are crazy. We had to cut that. But we added a bunch of extra stuff. It used to be just straight up like an American Pie road trip sort of mashup. And then we added in all these other nods to other like 80s movies and sort of teen sex comedies. So we've got American Pie. My character's sort of general like teen comedy underdog guy, but also he's sort of like Jason Biggs, I guess. And then Brock is sort of like the Chris Klein character in American Pie, and then Chris Higgins, his character of Tim, is the hot, sexy foreign exchange student, also from American Pie and any number of those movies. The whole like road trip to intercept the sexy photo, that's road trip.
Perhaps hijinks shall ensue, the likes of which will result in the unlikely strengthening of our friendship.
But then we added in like something from Heather's, we added in a couple Breakfast Club homages. There's a Ferris Bueller in there.
Ooby-doo, la la la, ooh la la. Yeah. And I do that. Yeah.
Teen Wolf, because why not? Like, why not go all the way into pure stupidity? And then there's stuff that we had that isn't like a specific nod to anything, like Ashley's bit with the Western Union. It's just sort of like a booty call text message, but in the 20s. The bit with Fiona taking her selfie, it just made us laugh.
Smile.
Silent film was like not something I knew a ton about besides the general. And so we did watch a lot of, we watched Pollyanna and, some Charlie Chaplin. And so it was really interesting to see just how they did it. And it was such a different style of storytelling because you have the dialogue cards, so you do have to read a lot more while you're watching the film.
Sarah.
What manner of J. got us into this mess? I don't remember. I was also on moon juice.
In physical comedy, you do take up so much space in silent film because you are reliant on your actions instead of your voice.
The 1920s silent film style is pretty funny. We really leaned into the bigger, more ridiculous aspect of it because a lot of those earlier films, because they didn't have sound, they really had to sell it with their face and like everything they were doing physically. So everything was a lot bigger and pretty silly. And like they had title cards, but they really only used the title cards when they were absolutely necessary. So they were like doing theater and they were just playing for the back seats. And that's kind of fun to play around with.
Oh, you don't like dancing at all. You were just lying to me to win a bet.
There, that's horse feathers. Truth be told, I followed you for real.
And then we really wanted to film on film for so many reasons, but ultimately just, we were raising money through PayPal. It was a very low-key fundraising process this time, but that's how we wanted it. And ultimately it just would have been way too expensive. Like half the budget would have been going to shooting on film. So we were excited about that at first, but once we realized like that was kind of not going to happen, honestly, it just freed us up to be more creative with other things. And it took a lot of stress off of us.
That is a wrap on Ryan, Chris, and Sean.
We were really lucky because, we didn't have a lot of time to do this sketch, but a lot of our same people got to come back and we brought on some new people.
So we got to work again with Blake Silver, fan favorite.
We have Julia Cho, my dear friend from the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, which has been great. We've wanted to work with her for a while now, and she was so game, and she looks incredible in this 20s period, and we're so happy to have her.
Finally got to have Chris Higgins be like an official main member of our cast.
Plus, we have a lot of fun cameos from a lot of the Shipwrecked family.
We have a lot of Poe Party faces, a lot of Gilded Lily faces. I don't know how this ended up happening, but this is our largest cast, I think. We have like 18 cameos. Maybe not that many, but like we have more people than Poe Party in this 5-minute sketch. So, you know, leave it up to us. Just can't do anything small.
You know, it's short. I still feel like crazy going into pre-production because apparently nothing we do can be like small and simple, which is like good. After, I'm always very happy about it, but like before, I'm like, this is a sketch. How is it costing so much? How are we going on so many costume runs? Oh my gosh, this Costco run is costing so much money. Why do we have so much water? But then it's always better to be safe than sorry. It's always better to have more water than less water and to pay people. And having this amazing studio space is great. So I don't know. I guess that's just what Shipwrecked does. We just have productions be a lot bigger than you might think they need to be. But hopefully it looks really great and it all comes to fruition in the final product.
It's a movie.
Moving on. Moving.
So this project has differed from the last two in its scale and budget, and that is really nice. On one hand, it's really nice. On most of the hands, it's really nice. On like 98% of hands, it's really nice. It's made our job a lot easier and a lot less stress-free, but also on the other 3% of hands, did I do the math right there? Whatever. There is an element for me where it's like, wow, we just did like Poe Party and Gilded Lily and they were these huge projects and now we're coming back with this like 5-minute one joke thing. And I mean, it is exactly what we want to make. But at the same time, we're kind of worried that like, are people okay with us doing this like 5-minute sketch? Or are they going to be disappointed after seeing the last few things we've done? Because we don't get to make things very often just for a lot of reasons. So we want to make everything count. But also we didn't have a lot of money for this one. We didn't want to raise a lot of money and we didn't want to go crazy, like just all out for this. So it's been different and it's been fun. And it's been less stressful, but still stressful, because we're never not gonna stress. But it's also been cool. At this point, we've worked with all these people who really enjoy working with us and are down to come out and play and like drive all the way to the YouTube space and film for literally 60 seconds and then leave. And they're so cool with it, and it's really fun. And it's also fun knowing that we have all these people who literally all of these cameos are a line in the script, and we're just like, they'll figure it out, you know, these people are very funny, and then they come and they make it hilarious. So it makes our job easier.
We only got invited to Buffer in July. Last year we got invited in like April, so we did not have as much time, which is part of why we decided to do something so small. Thankfully, our wonderful audience has supported us and given us enough money to do this. Even though it is small, it still costs thousands of dollars to feed people and pay people a little bit. And of course, we're using the YouTube space, which is free, and that is so wonderful, and we're so thankful to have that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do it at all. It's been a lot shorter than normal, but I think it's been a good exercise for us to have to do something small because we tend to get pretty big in our productions, and as such, it's been a lot less stressful this time around.
At this point, we know we work together well. We know like the big things we have to do for each project, no matter how small or big. So that's been nice. It's been less stressful in that regard, and locations has been really great because we're just at the YouTube space. So, you know, last year for the American Legion, it was such a nightmare just trying to get the dates and making sure that we had our location locked. So like logistically as a producer, it's been easier, but just, you know, always stressing about budget and time and making sure, you know, everyone's schedules work and just basic producer things. But it's been fun. I mean, I feel like now we have a really good rhythm, which is great because if we want to keep doing this, it's good to have a good rhythm.
I feel like at this point we're a pretty well-oiled machine. Like we were able to get this going pretty quickly and easily, and that just is a testament to the relationships that we have developed over the past few years working on Poe Party and Gilded Lily, and we've really got a rhythm. And thankfully, like Ryan Murphy and Brent Madison are still, Brent is not here because he's out of town, but Ryan's here, and they've both been working on this and helping us out with this, and we're just so thankful for them all the time. But yeah, it's nice to feel like we sort of know what we're doing now. Poe Party was like, and Gilded Lily was still so stressful, but this has felt like not easy per se. No production is easy, but we're like, yeah, we got this. Like, we know how to do this.
Let's croquet.
I was very nervous for American Whoopie because I feel like 1920s, it's so funny, Brendan just said to me, like, the 1920s flatter everybody. And I was like, I feel the opposite. I feel like the 20s were for like stick figures with like short hair. And so we were looking into a lot of like longer hairstyles because Sarah, Mary Kate, and I all have long hair. And there were a lot of weird foofy curls. Sarah's doing like a very classic like finger wave tight to the head look. Mary Kate and I are doing crazier hairs. We all tried to have a different look for every one of our main like 8 people who are like main characters. So like if somebody had a sweater vest, we tried to have them not have a bow tie, or like people are in different hats, and we made Pinterest boards, and everybody looks pretty different, I think. But it was really fun to go thrifting as usual. Mary Kate got all these flapper dresses really cheap at Unique Vintage.
We lucked out because I actually worked at this place called Unique Vintage for a part-time job for like 2 months, a couple months ago. I was able, while I was there, to get these beautiful flapper dresses, which are typically like $200 dresses. I got them at a very, very, very steep discount. So that was really nice. And I was like, I'm gonna get these because I feel like we're gonna need them sometime. I didn't know we would need them so soon.
Otherwise, we ordered a lot of stuff on Amazon, and we went to Burbank, and we looked through all the thrift shops. Goodwill usually is pretty helpful. I don't even think we got that much from Goodwill, and most people who came for the cameos already had like a 20s outfit.
Again, our budget was very tight, and so we worked with what we had. We were lucky that between Poe Party and Gilded Lily, we had a lot of pieces that come into this.
We were under budget on wardrobe. Yay!
Handsome.
Boy, do you know it.
Working with Joe and Alex, again, has been great. Joe has been itching to do something all year, so it was kind of nice when Buffer invited us that we had like an excuse to do something. And I remember we were at Comic-Con, we were waiting in line for the Good Place experience, and Sinead and I had just written a packet and included American Whoopie as part of it. And so I pulled it up on my phone and I was like, here's what we were thinking of doing for Buffer, and he read it in line. He was like, this is great. He signed off like immediately, and he had all these ideas. And that was nice because Sinead and I had written this so long ago and like forgotten about it. And then we came back to it and we were like, is this good? Is this stupid? Are people gonna like this? So having Joe read it and instantly be excited to make it was really nice.
Joe and Alex is their 3rd project with them. They did Poe Party and Gilded Lily, and now they're doing American Whoopie. And I feel like at this point we just we trust them, and we know that they're gonna show up and do exactly what we envisioned in our head. And they're good working on a tight budget and a tight schedule, and we're very, very lucky to have them.
It's so wild to me that like Alex will just fly out here for like a few days just to do something like this with us. I'm kind of like, are you sure you want to do this? It's like you're just screwing around at the YouTube space, but it's cool. It's always good to see him.
Katie Most has been killing it. She has done such a great job on the set and the props for like very little money.
Katie always comes through in the art department. She's so chill. We tell her budget. She's never like, that's crazy. We can't do that for that. Gosh, the Poe Party budget was tiny, and she killed it. And then with this, like, she had to build multiple sets out of like basically nothing, and had all these props ready to go. And it's just pretty incredible what she can do with so little. It's like we have a very creative crew.
We have some of our grips back. Dylan, our composer, is coming back again, which is awesome.
And we have a new hair and makeup artist, a new hair artist, and a new makeup artist on this shoot, and we're obsessed with them. They've made us look all incredible, and it's cool to be like pretty confident about the groove that we've got going and feel like, yeah, like we can do anything. It's cool. We want to do so many things.
Picture up on Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah! Whoa!
Thanks, everybody. It was fun.
Yeah.
Wrap on day 1. Yay!
Wrap on day 1! Oh my gosh! What a day! I was here for so long!
It does feel like a party. I do wake up on days that we're shooting and I'm like, oh, this is fun. It's fun running around. I really do like production.
Second, yeah.
I really don't like pre-production and scheduling and budgeting and casting and working through people's schedules. But once you're on set and you like are having fun and setting up crafty and like organizing the wardrobe and seeing all your old friends, the grips that you worked with before, and Alex who flies in from New York, it's like, yay, we're making fun stuff and everybody likes being here, I hope, right? You guys like being here?
All right, that is a wrap on Mary Kate and Sinead. And that is a wrap on American Whoopie.
Sinead, what did we just do?
2 days.
I was worried. I was like, this is just one joke and it's just stretched too thin. But then when we got here today and we started messing around and Blake and Sinead were filming, again, just like Poe Party, Blake and Sinead were the first ones to go. It was so fun and everyone was coming up with fun bits and it's great. I'm excited to see it.
We did.
What's that, Sarah?
Wrap!
Oh, an American Whoopee! What's that, Delaney?
It's a wrap on American Whoopee!
Whoopee!